Hey everybody, Dan Rawich here. I don't know if it matters. It's Thursday, August 9th, in the evening, like 8:30. And a lot of people, you guys, are asking me to talk about my iron butterfly trade that I'm recommending we close out of. It was not an official trade, and I don't know that anybody followed me into it, but it certainly piqued a lot of curiosity. So let's talk about it real quick. Let's start with why I took the trade. Again, IEF very closely follows bonds just as the TLT does. They invest in 7 to 10 year treasuries. And it's pretty clear to me that this date, whatever date this was, August 1st is when the trade went in. And it was clear to me that it had hit bottom and that we were getting good support and we were about to break out of this downward trend. You can also see the red line was beginning to move toward the blue. It hadn't crossed yet. And back then, you can see here the stochastic momentum was beginning to bend up. So everything was beginning to turn, but most importantly, over anything else, the stochastic was down around look 2. So 20 is oversold. So the bond was just grossly oversold. I was confident of that. My thought was it would get a good bounce and it would come up to 102. 102, possibly 102 and a quarter. So that was the trade. It was to try to structure something that if the bond stayed between a certain range of 101 to 102 and a quarter, you could make money. And Iron Butterfly was a way to do that. So I'll show you what that looks like. So these are interesting trades because you're really having to bracket the move, very tight. So what you can see here is the break even was 101.35 to 102.65. So not a big range, but again, it didn't have a lot of days to do that. I only had to have it stay in that range for 2 weeks, and not even then because I could exit any time. And the peak of this trade actually is 102, and I think right now we're at 101.80. So we did pretty good on this one. You can see at 101.75, the P&L should be about 120. And I think that's about what's in this trade. I haven't completely done the math. And my thought was to try to get out before the CPI numbers, um, but it was too late in the day. I didn't get filled. But that's okay because we have till the 17th. So even if we do get a little bounce down after the CPI, I think we'll go back. Okay, so next let's look at how this iron butterfly is constructed. You now have seen that you're trying to capture a range of the stock. We determine that by hopefully good technical analysis. And so then it's a matter of, let me bring back up Trade Lab. So it's really a matter of buying puts, buying calls, selling calls at varying strike prices to capture what you want. And so from my 2 cents, I wanted 102 to be the center of this trade. I kind of saw that as the apex. And so what that looked like is, the reason it's called an iron butterfly is this is the body and these are the wings. So I wanted the body, and that's the sell the put, sell the call, to be at 102. And then I spread the wings from 101 to 103, and that captured that range for me. If I wanted to capture a wider range, I would spread the wings wider. The wider you go, the more expensive the trade becomes and the more risk you have because you're buying the wings. The wings are not cheap to purchase. If you can make more money on the body, that's great because that's going to get you a credit. So that's really it. There's no reason to overcomplicate these. So the iron butterfly usually ends in a credit. It's a net credit trade. Okay, and last but not least, how do you exit these things? And again, everybody's platform's different, and I don't want to spend tons of time on this because I don't think a lot of people entered this trade. But we'll just go back to everything. You've got to get to your positions. You got to find that one. Here it is. And then you got to find the trade tab, which I think is right. That's the chart grouping. There's the trade tab. Press that. It'll bring the order up exactly how it needs to be done. Markets are closed, so none of these prices are populating, so it's not telling me what my limit price will be. But I did the math earlier, and we should come out about $100, $120 on this trade. Again, that's not a lot of contracts, so everything we do, we're going to scale. In fact, I went bigger on this one than I probably should have because I want to set an example for you guys to stay small right now, and we'll grow together. Okay, that's it. Take care. See you tomorrow.